How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly pick'em. I'm Buddy Strange, this is StrangeVoodooTV, and let's just jump into it. First off, the win of the week is going to be the Cowboys beating the Saints. Of course, that was a big win for the Cowboys. The Saints just couldn't get rhythm. Reffing didn't help, and I'm just saying in general for both teams, that was just a terrible game. It wasn't even like it was biased towards anybody. It was just overall a terribly called game. But out of that, the Cowboys were still able to get the win, and props to them for that. Great defense was able to prevail, and they were able to get the win 13-10. So that being said, Cowboys win of the week. Alright, the loss of the week is going to be the Green Bay Packers losing to the Arizona Cardinals. Are you kidding me? Green Bay in Lambeau, and they just, that is a bad loss. If you're losing to someone who lost to the Raiders, yeah, you know you're in turmoil. And Mike McCarthy fired. Joe Philbin is filling in. Yeah, that it's definitely loss of the week. Sorry, Packers fans, but good news. Mike McCarthy is out of there. You could possibly get someone who can have a better game plan. Anyway, that is loss of the week. Now, time for SVTV's Players of the Week. First off, Offensive Player of the Week is going to be Todd Gurley, getting himself 160 plus all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. That is a pretty solid game for anybody, and Gurley as well. So, Offensive Player of the Week, Todd Gurley. Defensive Player of the Week is going to be Bobby Wagner with a Seahawk record 98-yard interception return for a touchdown, pick 6, 98 yards. Bobby Wagner also getting a forced fumble recovery, and 13 tackles on top of that. Just absolute monster. Might be the best middle linebacker in football right now. I'd put my money on him being in the top 2. You can debate between him and Luke Kuechly right now. That was just a solid performance out of him, and definitely deserving this week. Bobby Wagner, Defense Player of the Week. Special Teams Player of the Week, going again to someone who had a punt return for a touchdown. Desmond King this time getting a punt return for the Chargers against the Steelers. By the score and by the looks of that game, they needed something like that to happen, and it happened, and that propelled them over the Steelers. Yeah, over the Steelers 33-30. Making my prediction wrong, unfortunately, but making him good enough to be Special Teams Player of the Week. Next up is one of the fan favorites of this channel, one of my favorites on this channel, Philip Lindsay, getting Offensive Rookie of the Week. He absolutely went off this week, getting 157 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, propelling the Broncos over the Bengals for a win. This guy just carried the team on his back, and it looks like he'll have to carry the team on his back even more after the Emmanuel Sanders injury, which is a devastating blow. Although, that being said, I am excited to see how Deshaun Hamilton will work, as he probably will fill in the role that Sanders had with the team. That'd be very interesting to see him in there, and the new era of Broncos wide receivers, Courtland Sutton filling that DT role, Deshaun Hamilton filling that Emmanuel Sanders role. That'll be interesting. Anyway, yeah, Philip Lindsay, Offensive Rookie of the Week, just playing out of his mind. I'm so proud of the kid, and I'm glad he's proving me right. Alright, Defensive Rookie of the Week is going to be Derwin James, getting an interception. It was really close between Derwin and Bradley Chubb. I almost went Bradley Chubb, but I think Derwin's interception proved to be a bigger factor than Bradley Chubb's sack and forced fumble. I think in the long run, Bradley Chubb did contribute, but I think Derwin's interception probably had more of a factor in them winning than Chubb's sack fumble. It could easily went either way, but Derwin James getting it for the second week in a row, Defensive Rookie of the Week. And now for a segment that will become a regular segment from here on out on the weekly pick'em videos, SVTV's Play of the Week.
Pass is intercepted by Bobby Wagner. Only the quarterback to defend. Bobby Wagner with a touchdown.
Alright, everybody, right before we get into these picks, I hate to say it, but I went 44% this past week, which is not good at all, dropping my overall total down below 60%, which sucks, but we plan to get it back up to 60% this week, so let's get into these picks and let's see what we can do. Alright, first off, we've got Thursday Night Football, Jaguars versus Titans. The 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 Jaguars coming off a very interesting win, a win that put me at 44%, or part of the reason why I was 44%. The Jaguars beating the Colts 6-0. That was crazy. The Titans coming off an interesting win over the Jets. And to me, I think the better team is going to be the Titans. They're also playing at home. I'm going to have to give them the win, 24-13 over the Jaguars. All right, the Jets versus the Bills. I think it's going to be close. I don't think Sam Darnold's coming back, so it won't be a rookie showdown between him and Josh Allen. Buddy's wrong. Last minute update. Sam Darnold will get to start. He will play Sunday, so it will be a rookie showdown. And this is actually one I'm very excited to watch for on Sunday. I think it will be a really good matchup between the two. Okay, back to the pick'em. But I think Josh Allen is proving to be the better quarterback of the two. Either way, right now I'd rather have Josh Allen than I would Sam Darnold on my team, and not just because of the injury. He hasn't been showing enough for me. Down, I'm going to pick the Bills here in a very, very, very close win, 10-9 over the Jets. I think the home crowd factor factors in. Factor. Anyway, I think it factors in here, and I think the Bills can slip out of this game with a win. All right, the Panthers versus the Browns next up. The Panthers are struggling. The Browns coming off not a great game, but overall they've been competing this whole season. And I think if they can get Nick Chubb more involved this week and create some smart plays for Baker to get the ball to Njoku and Landry, I think the Browns do win it here. And I think the Panthers fall even more into tailspin. I think the Browns win 31-27 over the Panthers, with Nick Chubb getting at least 2 touchdowns on the ground. All right, next up, Falcons versus Packers. Both teams are coming off unimpressive weeks. The Packers firing Mike McCarthy and giving the job to interim head coach Joe Philbin, who I don't suspect will be the head coach for very long after the season concludes and they miss the playoffs again. The Falcons coming off a tough loss against the Ravens. Both teams in turmoil, and this is just a tough game to pick because Packers at home are always tough, but they did lose to the Cardinals last week. They have Joe Philbin, who I don't think is much of a spark, and I have to give it to the Falcons here. I think the Falcons come into Lambeau, and for the second week in a row, the Packers lose at home, and I think they lose 20-14 to the Falcons. All right, next up, Colts versus Texans. The Colts coming off a very disappointing 0-burger versus the Jaguars. The Texans coming off just a 9-game win streak. I think it continues here, no doubt about it. In my mind, they're at home. They have got a great defense. The Colts are good but struggling at some points, and I think although it will be a kind of close game, I think the Texans win 35-27 over the Colts. The Ravens versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are hot. The Ravens are hot as well, coming off a win against the Falcons. The Lamar Jackson experience has proved to be a good change of pace for the Ravens, and he's won every single game he's started so far, 3-0 since the change. But I think that streak ends here with a loss to the Chiefs. I think they lose 33-21 against the Chiefs. All right, the Patriots versus Dolphins. The Dolphins always, and especially at home, play the Patriots very, very hard. The Patriots, on the other hand, are playing good ball right now. Sony Michel's playing really well. Josh Gordon is finally finding his rhythm in the offense. Julian Edelman's finding his way back and getting his role straight now. Rob Gronkowski, although battling through injuries, has been a dominant factor these past couple of weeks. Ryan Tannehill is trying to grind out some wins here and there, and this is actually going to be a tough one for me to pick. I'm really leaning towards an upset here, the Dolphins winning, especially at just how hard they play them at home. It's always a good game. I am going to pick the Patriots here, but I would 0% surprised if the Dolphins end up winning, but I think the Patriots will win in a close one, 20-24, and I wouldn't be surprised if that score's flipped for the Dolphins, but I think the Patriots squeak out a win against the Dolphins here. All right, the Saints versus the Buccaneers. I think the Saints bounce back. I don't think an upset happens here. I think the Saints win 30-17. All right, the Giants versus the Redskins. The Redskins, more injuries just keep piling up for the Redskins, or shall I say the Deadskins. Jeez. Alex Smith, broken leg. Colt McCoy, broken leg. The whole offensive line almost. Just injury after injury. Starting wide receivers down. It's just Washington Infirmary, and it's not good. It's not good for them. The Giants beating beating the Bears this past week in surprising fashion. At least to me, that was crazy. And I think they come back, and I think they win against the Redskins here, and I think they do it 20-9. I think they finally utilize Saquon Barkley for the whole game. He gets 125 yards in total or so, and I think they dominate pretty much the whole game against the Redskins. All right, the Bengals versus the Chargers. The Bengals are struggling. The Chargers are not really struggling right now, and I think coming off a big win in Pittsburgh, and they're going to be at home, I think the Bengals defensive backcourt, their defense is going to get torched by Rivers and Gordon and Allen and whoever else, Eckler, and I think the Chargers win 31-13 over the Bengals. Right, the Broncos versus 49ers. Again, Emmanuel Sanders is going to be out. Chris Harris is definitely out. Both of them are out for the season, so that's not good. Good news for them, they have really good backups at wide receiver. They've got a running game that's finally working there in Denver. They've got a back in Phillip Lindsay who can do it all, and a defense that is still out for blood. I think the Broncos get it here on the road against the 49ers. The 49ers are going to try their best, but their best is not going to be good enough. I think the Broncos win 28-16 over the 49ers. All right, the Lions versus the Cardinals. To me, this is actually a really tough one to choose, but I'm going to end up picking the Cardinals. When in doubt, go for the home team pretty much, and I think the Cardinals win 14-13 over the Lions. I think it's going to be extremely close. Either way it turns out, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions win at all. The Cardinals, David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Rosen. Maybe Rosen has his breakout game finally. Even in the win last week, he didn't play that well. The Packers played worse. However, I think the Cardinals can get a win over the Lions here, but we'll see. All right, Eagles versus Cowboys. Right now, the Cowboys are hot. The Eagles are not. They're also at home, coming off a win against the Saints. I don't think that was their Super Bowl. I think they're still hungry for more. I know Zeke is hungry for more. He's always hungry for more. I think the Cowboys win 26-10 over the Eagles. I think the Cowboys defense holds Carson Wentz and Josh Adams at bay. And then on the flip side, I think the Cowboys offense can take advantage of some injuries and bad play on the Eagles defense. All right, the Steelers versus Raiders, and no question in my mind, I think the Steelers win. The Raiders gave the Chiefs a game, that is for sure, but the Steelers win 30-14 over the Raiders. All right, the Rams versus the Bears. The Bears coming off a tough loss to the Giants, but they are going to be getting Trubisky back, which I think helps them tenfold. Chase Daniel was not doing it, and to be honest, he's pretty much what cost them the win last week. There's a reason he never started for the Chiefs or anyone else. The Rams coming off a good win against the Lions. That was close for a second, but the Rams were able to pull it out. The legs of Todd Gurley. I do think the Bears give them a game, and in fact, I'm thinking the Bears win 23-17 in an upset. Yes, I think the Bears win at home against the Rams in an upset. I think it's very close, extremely close. I mean, the Bears may get a few lucky calls or a few lucky plays. Something happens. But I think that defense can keep the Rams at bay. And I think Trubisky, Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, and the like, Trey Burton, they get themselves off their ass and get themselves a win at home. I think Tariq Cohen may have a punt return, touchdown, something like that. Just something changes the game drastically. Jared Goff sack fumble by Khalil Mack that's picked up by Hakeem Hicks and ran all the way in. Just something happens that changes this game drastically in the momentum, and I think the Bears win 23-17 over the Rams in an upset. All right, Monday Night Football, Vikings versus Seahawks. I'm going to go Seahawks here. I think the Vikings will give them a game, but the Vikings are right now. They're not doing so well. The Seahawks are escaping with wins left and right, and I think Russell Wilson will have himself a good day as he did this past week. He was almost Offensive Player of the Week with 4 touchdowns, but only 185 yards, which was interesting. Anyway, I think the Seahawks can get it done here against the Vikings. I think Bobby Wagner and that defense can keep Kirk Cousins down to minimal points, and I think it's going to be a good defensive battle, and I think the Seahawks win 20-17 over the Vikings. Alright, that is going to do it for me here today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Comment anything down below on these picks that I'm scrolling up and down on the screen for you to see. If you have any agreements, disagreements with my picks, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. But anyway, that's going to do it for me here today. As always, I'm Buddy Strange. This is Strange Voodoo TV. Keep it strange, people. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.